Hey gamers, it's me. I'm currently looking back at some of the movies that I've watched, thinking about all the movies that built me up to where I am now. Sometimes I think about the Stark, how he came out as Iron Man to the public, how he really likes Burger King, and how his best friend looks a bit different in this movie compared to the other movies. The movie I'm thinking about happens to be the first MCU movie. Remember I told you about it way, ages ago. Iron Man. That's the movie. Starring Robert Downey Jr., of course. Only starring Robert Downey Jr. He's the only actor in the entire movie. He's the only guy in the whole movie. That's it. Just Robert Downey Jr. That's it. No one else. This was the start of one of the biggest franchises ever, so it doesn't surprise me that this movie is actually good.
The movie Iron Man was directed by Jon Favreau, famous for directing the best movie to ever be created, known as Chef. Jon worked with Marvel Studios to create this movie with the help of Paramount. The movie would go on to be a success and spawn two sequels, with Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. The original idea behind this movie was to set it in a pre-existing Marvel universe, along with the X-Men movies, Spider-Man movies, and other Marvel properties, as shown by the original end credits scene of the movie. This idea can be seen throughout the early stages of the MCU, with the Weapons Plus program in The Incredible Hulk, and Marvel wanting Hugh Jackman to make a cameo in Captain America the First Avenger. Obviously, the Weapons Plus program went on to be the basis behind the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus show, but it probably was only in The Incredible Hulk to connect it to a wider Marvel universe. The movie starts with Tony Stark, with the army, driving through a desert. At the start, we don't really understand what's happening, but we can see that the army are big fans of Tony, as seen by them wanting to take pictures with him. This is when the movie makes the most dated reference you can possibly think of, with Stark telling the soldiers not to put that picture on their MySpace.
Nobody uses MySpace anymore.
Suddenly, missiles start getting shot at the army car, killing all the soldiers. Tony manages to see one of the missiles, and it happens to be a Stark Industries missile. Although not known yet, Stark Industries is a company that he runs, and a higher up at the company, Obadiah Stane, has been selling these missiles to a terrorist group known as the Ten Rings, who will later make an appearance in Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, All Hail the King, Daredevil, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now we cut to around a day before this event happened, with Tony Stark being awarded an award for all his hard work. His friend Rhodey comes out to give him the award. While walking out of Caesar's palace, Tony picks up a news reporter from Vanity Fair, Christine Everhart, who later becomes a news reporter for the fictional news company WHIH News. WHIH News shows up throughout the entirety of the MCU, with it showing up in Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Inhumans, The Punisher, Runaways, WHIH Newsfront, WandaVision, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Although throughout most of the MCU, WHIH News isn't recognised that much, it started to come back into the main MCU in WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. WHIH, along with Roxxon, was one of the main ways to find out if Marvel TV shows was supposed to be set within the confines of the MCU, with the two of them showing up in almost every Marvel TV show, with Roxxon showing up in shows that WHIH wasn't in, which is Agent Carter, Cloak and Dagger, and Hellstrom. Is Hellstrom even in the MCU? Hell knows. I don't. Roxxon also appears in this movie near the end. After Tony picks up Christine, they go to have fun at his house. Just a normal play date, you know? In the morning, it is revealed that Tony Stark has already left to work in his basement, so when Christine goes to leave, his assistant Pepper Potts is revealed to the audience. Pepper Potts becomes a recurring character in the MCU, even if the actress can't remember being in Spider-Man Homecoming. But whatever. Tony Stark is seen working on his cars, showing that he can work on mechanical stuff. Like as we see later, he creates the original Iron Man suit. Tony finds out he's late to the private jet, so of course, he gets on the jet. What the hell did you expect me to say? Honestly, are you stupid or dumb? I can't work it out. Tony meets up with Rhodes as they fly off to Afghanistan to test out some missiles. The missiles work, and they all celebrate. It's all good. Until we see the aftermath of what happened at the start of the movie. Tony Stark is kidnapped by the Ten Rings. What will he do? Well, he meets up with the scientist, whom we found out he met in 1999, and they build the original Iron Man suit.
The first one, Mark 1, Mark I, the stupid grey suit.
The scientist dies. Rip, I'll miss that guy. Guess he'll never come back, especially not in Iron Man 3. He does some fighting with his suit. He can kinda fly, and do some other stuff too. Bonkers. His suit breaks, but the army finds him. And look who it is! Rhodey! They go back home, and after Tony finds out his weapons are being used for harm, he shuts down his weapons. but he gets Burger King first. He has to get Burger King first.
Look, it's Coulson from the TV show where he dies over and over again and Nick Fury shows up 2 times.
He works for S.H.I.E.L.D. You guys know what S.H.I.E.L.D. is. It's S.H.I.E.L.D. It shows up in almost every single Marvel movie. Mentioned in Agent Carter indirectly, the main focus of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the logo for the Coulson Academy, a school named after him at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., is in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, it becomes a somewhat big part of the movie, especially the end credit scene. Anyway, Obadiah Stane is so upset with Tony for shutting down the weapons, as he's the bad guy, and that's what he does, I guess. So Tony gets his assistant, Pepper Potts, to go behind Obadiah's back to see what was going on. Pepper does this and finds Coulson on the way. Tony makes a new arc reactor, Obadiah steals it, Rhodey helps him get the old one. Rhodey looks at the Mark II armor and says, "Next time baby," to then never get it and be replaced by Don Cheadle because, and I quote, "If we swap them they'll look the same," and that's coming from the old head of Marvel, Ike Perlmutter. Obadiah Stane makes his own Iron Man suit after betraying the 10 rings. Tony fights him, Coulson blows up a door, and Tony saves the company. He later reveals to an audience, including the Vanity Fair reporter, that he is Iron Man. This movie is good, although the final fight is a bit bland. Tony is a very interesting character, and he becomes more interesting the longer he's in the universe. The movie's end credit scene was good too. What a movie. This was a great way to start off the MCU. It's like a 7 out of 10 at best. I'm sorry, it's just that there are other movies that are so much better. The movies are good. My personal favourite is Spider-Man Far From Home, but there are other popular favourites like Captain America the Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy, and hey, they're pretty good too.
And that's Iron Man. And I've got something to say to you. I am Charlie. Look, I know I said there's always other choices, but I didn't mean that I would play an NFL football game released in 2007. I guess the game on the shelf has disappeared again. You know what always sucks when this happens? It's disappeared before and I didn't know where it went. It literally just disappeared. Random noises started coming out of it. I don't know what it means, I don't know what it does. It's just random, weird noises that I do not understand. Oh look, there it is.